I'd message Kofo like, oh, yeah, I'm so sorry. I would just be like, say 5 minutes late. I'm almost there. And I went to her WhatsApp status because I was like, okay, what's she updating by this time? Because she should be in the studio. So I wanted to say it was an update. And then I see this man.
You should play the audio.
Play the audio, please. Hold on. Because if people don't hear it now, you don't understand why this thing is falling.
See my life outside?
I was running to come and rescue Kofo because he looked like they want to beat her. Somewhere in the video, the man's belt was even unbuckled. And that's going to go, did they remove baits for you? No, I want to bait you. She's like, I don't.
Just make it sound like you're there to take like noodles.
Is that how you take noodles? Do you do to noodles?
Don't worry.
Exactly.
I'm exhausted. I don't have the energy.
No, you don't. Ladies and gentlemen.
Before I start this episode, I'd been yawning. I'm tired. So
Kofo has been yawning. She's still yawning. And then she says that she yawned through a whole first date.
Well, I remembered. So, sometimes you have to also acknowledge the part you play in something. So, I'll be a liar if I'm coming to gist you about horrible dates and I don't say the one that I did. So, yes, I yawned all through. You're probably going to be listening to this episode and I'm sure you'll be laughing because you remember.
Was this first date towards friendship or there was supposed to be something out of it?
I don't know what it was, but it was just a first date. Well, no, let me say first date. We're going out for lunch or dinner. I think it was dinner. I can't remember. And I had a really, really, really stressful week. Like stressful proper week that I was going to cancel on the date because I was exhausted. But I knew how hard it was getting even that date. And I was already feeling like I was being a drama by having to postpone. Honestly, yeah, I'm sure we'll be laughing because before we agreed on that date, what happened was, so the person like randomly came like, oh, we should meet up. And I'm like, I checked my calendar. I don't have any free time on my calendar to XYZ.
But do you admit that you come off strong? Sometimes
that's not the issue. Let's not
steady it out there.
No. I know.
For men out there that want to toast Kofo, this is a disclaimer. She's a very soft girl. But she do tight chest. Oh my, this guy, this side.
It's the fact that you are pointing fingers when the rest are looking back at you. But anyway.
I can admit mine.
I know that I come off strong. And that's why one thing I always do with myself, to be honest, and this is part of being self-aware, I always test a lot of things. So, for instance, like maybe on something I did and I don't think I did well, I have friends that speak to and say, okay, advise me. Do you think I was in the wrong? How could I have handled the situation better? I do that very regularly.
So will you do this thing again?
Let me just explain now. Like, I shall I introduce this before we go to today's topic. Anyways, so so because of the old times, so I was trying to be considerate in quotes, and I honored the date. And so I met a guy, and very fine guy, and that's when I should have been.
If you're not using him, she can transfer into my side.
It's taken.
Girl.
Anyway, so we went on the date, and it was
really taken when you went on the date.
No.
Okay.
We're really gisting and all, and there I was. Every 2 minutes, I'm so sorry, I'm yawning. I'm so sorry, I'm yawning. And I was so embarrassed, but it was kind enough to not make me feel bad about it. And I was like, oh, I understand that you're tired. But deep down, I also felt like, how would this guy be thinking, hey, this is how I'm boring. This one that this girl on the yawn this morning. Because I was thinking for two people. I was thinking for myself, like, gosh, Kofo, why are you just embarrassing this person? Why are you being like this? And I was thinking for the other person, because I really felt if the reverse was the case, I know that I would have felt like, am I this boring? So immediately I got home, I had to call him and I'm like, should be told, I totally enjoyed myself, even if my demeanor did not communicate that and I was yawning, but I was only yawning because I was legit tired. So it wasn't because I didn't enjoy myself. I know why you guys are laughing because this was my reality, but that's not, when I talk about dates, I just said to share that story because I was yawning a lot this afternoon. So yeah,
a lot, my dear friend.
I'm currently in a lot. I'm currently in a lot, but I don't think any of us have been through a lot than lots in self. That's it.
Girl, look at you go. Meanwhile, Hand driver man wants to beat Kofo today. I bring you all this.
I don't understand. It's today's episode. See, today's episode, to my knowledge, is not hot gist about things happening in Kowo. Like, but we might as well make it about it. Like, I'm fine.
Guys, let me tell you what happened. So I was running a bit late, coming from church, and I had messaged Kofo like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'll just be like, say 5 minutes late. I'm almost there. And I went to her WhatsApp status because I was like, okay, what's she updating by this time? Because she should be in the studio. So I wanted to say it was an update. And then I see this man.
You should play the
You have to
audio.
play the audio, please. Hold on. Because if people don't hear it now, you don't understand why this thing is funny.
See my life outside.
I was running to come and rescue Kofo because he looked like the one to beat her. Somewhere in the video, the man's belt was even unbuckled. And that's going to go, did they remove baits for you? No, to bait you? She's like, I don't.
Just make it sound like you're there to take like noodles.
Is that how you take noodles? Do you do to noodles?
Don't worry.
Exactly.
I'm exhausted. I don't have the energy.
No, you don't. Ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know you from anywhere.
You know where I am.
So I should come back here.
Oga, you know where you picked me from.
So I should go back to where I picked you
I'm not
from.
saying where you picked me from. I'm
What
saying
the hell is
if
this?
you don't get your money within the next hour of 30 minutes.
So I should wait for hours before I can get my money for
Wait.
for a service I render to you.
You're just raising your voice at me.
I will raise it because you're making me annoyed.
Raising your voice.
Annoyed.
You did a service. You
You're raising
dropped
your
me
voice as
off.
well.
How am I raising my voice?
You are.
Oga, between me and you,
This is not the way you were talking to me in the first place.
No, because you deserved it.
You deserve this
You
also.
deserve it.
What is
If I-
You know, just to mention, this was Lagos, Nigeria. In case you were wondering where the accent is coming from.
I need a minute. This is too hilarious. Just give me a second.
I watched the video like how many times, and I'm always baffled.
So what had happened was Kofo did a ride, right? And you know how normally we transfer, like it's cash and we transfer. And I know that, shit. I know that there are some drivers that will tell you, I don't want transfer. And I'll tell them, oh, you can stop at an ATM or better still cancel if I know that I cannot. So that way we've both communicated and there's no issues by the time we now get to where we're going. But this person obviously didn't and then got here and Kofo did transfer. Kofo had entered where she was going. This guy, like he was gone, he came back, to come and find Kovo. Kovo was like, okay, so I've transferred it, in another maybe 20, 30 minutes, it would come. Like it's probably bank network, maybe mine, maybe yours. He said, no, I'm a Lodo.
See, Boma, so I think, since we started talking about me, I think we just go on the episode because I have plenty of stories, just random stories. And if you think I'm always tighting my chest, it's because I am in a lot. I'm going through a lot. I'm probably coming from a lot. So please.
You and lots have a relationship.
No. So I'm interested in just, talking about, things about me. Just giving, and and really,
really though, this boat, I mean, I don't think I've had any issues with Uber. Like for my own self, it's
I
always
used to
been
mix both of them together because this is InDriver.
I know InDriver and boat. Yes, I've definitely had.
I mix them together, but of what stood out for me concerning about the experience as a whole was the video you just listened to, I posted it on my WhatsApp status, and I had people like, I want to fight, all those things. We're all just joking. And I had someone that said, Kofo, maybe you should have diffused the situation better.
How?
And I'm like, you watched the video, you heard the conversation, and your response was, maybe you should have diffused it. And I got triggered by that because it felt like I was hearing a familiar word that people say when there is like an altercation, especially between a man and a woman. And it feels like every time people just face the ladies and you're like, calm down. And I'm like, so I don't get it. It's like someone is moving mad. It's not trying to be reasonable. So I should just be calm and do what? So I should be calm and not respond and do what? Like, help me, to be honest. No, serious. I think I'm a rational thinking human being. And I like to believe that I'm open to corrections largely. Maybe not every time, but largely. So I really, really wanted to understand the situation. I don't know why you're giving me that look, Boma. But I really wanted to understand the situation. Okay, tell me what I could have done better. Maybe if you said, it could have spoken to him more calmly. I don't think my voice could have gone any lower and it have changed the situation. Or maybe I should have made another transfer so that because of words, is my father Dangote? No, because I knew the money went, and I've had situations
You
where
show him the debit.
I showed him my phone, I showed him my app, and the guy just kept refreshing his app with his 2,000 naira in his account. Yes, I called, I said it.
No.
Yes, I
you
said
didn't
it.
Go
I
there.
went there. And he kept refreshing it, and he just kept showing
Guys,
me.
I apologize. Kofoworola is upset. She's normally not like that. She don't throw people over like that. No way. You did that.
What's going on with you?
Oh.
What's going on? Boma, please. So
Why?
no, but so that saying calm down just really opened a lot of like.
It's not even that. The more people tell you to calm down,
It's like a catalyst.
yes, don't do it.
So are you saying I'm mad? Are you saying I should? No, because no, and there's always this narrative about
Relax. Relax.
Yeah, you have to be fanning king. Yeah, let me know. Let me give you broom. All that this is to fan king. Well, no, Boma, let's be real, right? And it's not even about boat or anything. But have you ever been in a situation where both of you, so I'm not going to pretend I say we'll always be rational in those situations.
Oh, yes.
But both of you are moving mad together.
Okay.
And they leave the other party, who is the guy in this case, and they're coming to meet you to say, to diffuse it. And just quickly to add, this, in case you're wondering, like, how did we end the conversation? A male, and I'm emphatic on the male, friend came to diffuse the situation. And I strongly believe that if Boma had come before him, we'll still be in that heated argument, because you'd have assumed that two babes. Do you understand? I'm sorry. I'm not trying to make it a gender war, but these are some of the experiences we've had. So I'm just saying.
And we keep having.
So back to what I was asking you about. Like, have you been in that situation and people tell you to calm down? How did you feel? And did you feel like that was an unfair statement to say to you in that situation?
So you know how I've been laughing, right? I didn't think that, there was going to be a shift.
Now you start now. I do you.
I mean, we're Jesus' children. We don't do that. We don't do me, I do you, Kofoworola.
What do we do?
Do me, you turn the other face to be done to. Do you understand? It's biblical. Ladies and gentlemen, to answer your question, yes, I have. I've been in at least, I'm not ready to talk about the third one, but I've been in three situations. But
You always have sort of like three. I don't know, it's just to follow you.
Yes, dear.
Three.
And let me tell you why. Because for me, I generally hate being disrespected. And I feel like naturally, I don't want to generalize, but I feel like most men just have that thing in their head that when it's a woman, they can just do it and it will pass by. Because they've done it and women have allowed it pass by. Mm-hmm. Let peace reign. Just leave it. They will say. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to me, you will not just do it and I will let it go. So 2019, I was driving my friend's car, had my license, had everything. And then...
Thank you for that disclaimer.
Yes.
I didn't think you had a license.
Yeah, I know. That's why I have to say it. Because I'm able to say you are in the wrong. As the story progresses, you understand, right? So I was driving third Milan coming down to Oroshoki, going to Osogodu, right? And just at that Oroshoki, that spark, where most cabs and buses would stop, I put on my trafficator, did everything I was supposed to.
I'm not sure, because I know there's one, the nomenclature. I'm legit asking.
You will let me to talk my story and be going. So, but this is not driving lesson. Can I continue? God bless. Sans, you don't ask.
Calm down.
I should relax. Very good. So I drove in, did everything I was supposed to do. And then this guy, of course, he like, he wants to overtake somebody in a small space. So he looked, but it was a guy that was sitting in front. So he probably thought it was guys. And then when he realized I was a woman, he looked at it, he can rough it now.
I run our streets.
I really wanna. Anyways, yeah, he do broach me. So when I hear me, I believe that is maybe a rain. It cannot be what I expect because it's not my motor car. They borrow me to drive. I came down because in my head, any reasonable person would stop. Mm-hmm. You will not keep driving on after doing that. No. He stayed in his car. As I came down, he continue the brushing. Like, you have brushed back door, you now continue to the front of the way to continue going. It do me like shock. So I thought maybe after that he would still stop. No, he didn't. He was driving off. So I told my friends to come down, those who I was trying to drop at that bus stop. And I pursued him. And it was probably dangerous. But at that moment, I was very, very upset. And this is probably the first time I'm sharing it. And that's with my best friend.
It's only me. I'm the one that can bring
It's
it
only
out.
Yana that is all this my nonsense, but I think it's you that is dragging out all the stories from me because I cannot publicly tell my mommy and my daddy. They will beat me for doing such. But yes, I did, and I put on my hazard light, and I kept on flagging that like all these last mile people, and I kept shouting "Ole, ole, ole." That is steal from me. Yes. So he kept on driving. We drove all the way through to. There's this place right after that bus stop that one is going up as if you're going back towards Isik Bagada now, I think. And I'm not sure. And one towards Ogudu. So we drove back into Bagada. So there's one last mile office towards that Oshodi like this. We shall drive ourselves there. They now stop him with tire. Long story short, they asked him what happened. I was like, is it that it's women and their problem? So God's so good. There was another guy. God will send helpers to you when you are in the right. God will bless that man wherever he is. God
When
so
you're in the
good.
wrong, you're not saying
He will not send, I'm not really sure that it is to send helpers when you are wrong. Is there helpers to tell you that you are wrong? It will tell you, wait, my dear, you are wrong. But don't say helpers to enable your bad behavior. So apparently there was another guy who saw what had happened and probably was concerned, like, a lady. So he actually was driving behind me as I was pursuing the other guy. So we got there, yes, I promise you.
So she fast and forward.
Kofo, my head hurts. Like, no, that didn't just happen. Like, you're really going to drive off after
Like, you didn't see me.
intentionally. Like, and it's the fact that you stopped and you realized that it was, and then you continued, like, Bishop, I didn't pay me.
You.
Just then. So we got there and the guy was like, I know, that's how you're speaking Yoruba. Like, that's how women, and me, the first thing I do in Lagos is I never speak Yoruba when I'm speaking to people because people like to just believe that. I kept telling them, I'm not Yoruba, I don't understand what you're saying. If you're trying to communicate with me in English.
If you want to talk to me everything in
No,
English.
talk to me directly to my face.
What's going on?
He kept saying,
Why am I hyper?
I don't know, all of a sudden the energy is entering your body. I love it. So he was like, I don't know, me and Nico come back, so like I don't have anything to say. So I was facing last my guys. He kept talking. So I kept quiet. I went to his car and I removed his car key and I stood. Let's stand now. Let's keep talking. So the guy came down and then the guy now started saying, it was you that, like, he started speaking Yoruba. Of course, I kept behaving like I didn't understand what they were saying. It was like, it was you that was wrong. He now turned. I said, Ogano put it, and now start speaking English pidgin. Ogano put your mouth, no. So, of course, people now start coming. I mean, I don't know how to deal with all these things that, because more time you don't enter Insta blog, they video you. I just carried myself to one corner by the side, and I saw everybody pointing her. Nobody even knew who the lady was, but it was the fact that he made that statement of, do you understand? Because all of a sudden, because he was raising his voice, he was making calls. And me too. God so good. Aleyon, we said we get people.
Person wey no person.
Me say I don't come on see for. I say, Mommy, Lagos, take us to GPS. Mommy, hello, somebody wanna kill me in this place. I never say more than that. She say, where are you? Something. Send my uncle and the car. I say, very, very good. Oh yeah, now your person and my person with Jamit. Now who gets bigger person? I will go know. When the guy came, Kofo, I kid you not, countenance change. Story
That's when
change.
your uncle
when the other guy came, he was now calmer. Like I was saying, he wasn't really like that. That what had really happened was, I'm like, so you couldn't talk like this in the beginning. You were raking as far.
In the beginning.
Almost like, it's a woman. Why the hell should he have to banter words with me? So it always, and this is just one paramount situation. Even in the littlest circles or in the littlest places, it always happens. And my question is this. I actually have a question to the public, to the men folk.
That folk.
Yes, to the men folk. Right? And this is me seeking understanding. Is there something about us as women
That trigger.
that just makes you feel like it does, like I can just do and get away with it, or it doesn't matter? Like, because I know that some men have said, "Oh, women, our mouth is sharp."
Those things confuse me.
Great.
You know, and I don't know why Stanley is looking at me, but you see, when you were speaking, just the same thing.
When I was speaking,
Okay, so when you were speaking, the first that came to my mind is I hate, and I'm using the word I hate. Wow, hate it when people make me feel small,
Right.
especially the other gender.
Right.
I really hate when you make me feel small. And sometimes people even say, oh, I don't like female managers. And when female managers try to tell you their story, especially when they're working with male subordinates, and I've seen it practically happen to me.
Yes.
It feels like I'm speaking. Aren't you hearing me?
Yeah.
Do I? And many,
It's like your voice is...
and many women, that's when they now feel the need to raise their voice, and then you term them as the shouting person. But you're like, I'm trying to speak to you, but you are not hearing me.
Yeah.
And people that know me, my friends know me. I refuse to date somebody just because I told people that he wasn't hearing me. He was listening to me, but he wasn't hearing me. It was
two separate things.
It was just speaking out what they wanted from the conversation.
Right.
And sorry, I had written something down. So for me, right, I really I don't know, it's a genuine hate. I tolerate a lot of things. Trust me, I'm very, very accommodating to a lot of things. But anything that makes me feel small.
And you shouldn't have to take it.
I'm like, wall up. Especially when I know. So if you're making everybody feel small, maybe my reaction will be, or my demeanor might be different. Yeah. But knowing that you're making me feel small because
specifically
I'm a woman, it's a big problem for me, because then at that point, I immediately go into the defensive mode and I'm like, I'm not small.
But do you feel this way when it's coming from a woman who is intentionally making you small?
I have not.
Proud of people.
I've actually not had that experience.
Great.
I mean, and I don't know if you've had, but I've personally not had an experience, because naturally I'm not a small, I have a large personality, right? Even if sometimes I sort of hide it, but generally I have a large personality, so I don't see a reason why you want to make me feel small. And the reason why I said men is because more often than not, the underlying tone is they're looking for ways to belittle you, to just to block your voice.
Yeah,
that's what I find. So. And that's just, they said today about Kofo. So I have so many experiences, right? It's about me. So, and I'm fine. I'm fine putting myself on the spot.
Don't worry, we'll title it the Kofo episode over. The Koforanian. We'll come up with something.
So I remember another incident. I know me, I'm quick to say when I mess up. There's nothing bad. I'm fine to say
we cannot make mistakes, dear.
Do you understand?
Okay.
So this one is still, sometimes I think back at incidents and I keep asking, did this really happen?
You're right.
Did this really happen? So what had happened, this was during lockdown, right? I don't know if I've shared the story before, but I don't think so. I don't think I've shared it on our podcast. Okay. So, that time now where we're all into the fitness craze and everything. So I was working at Jack on Day and all of that. I was just there minding my business, minding the way that's paying me and trying to avoid COVID. I wasn't interested in anybody toasting me or not. So the guy parked and I was with my friend Shayo. I don't even know if you remember the story. I was with Shayo and Shayo was she encouraged me to give him my number. Again, that's me trying to be taking open feedback. Let me take open mind. Let me be, I gave him my number. So he called me that night, I think around 9 p.m. And I was legit still in front of my laptop. You know how then we're trying to navigate the whole work. Yeah. I'm working from home and trying to strike the balance between working from home, your personal life and work was really hard at that time. So I feel like today I was speaking very good English. I'm proud of myself.
Yeah, I mean, one of our guests was like, oh my gosh, she speaks so eloquently.
Well, let's not. Well, so... I remember. So the person calls me and is like, oh, yo, my name is XYZ. I work at this. I did it. I look at my phone like, yo. I thought it was a conversation. My sister, I didn't know that it was a radio something that, radio. I don't know it was an OAP. I should have suspected because now them they talk when they get a response. Yeah. Okay, just and I was just on the phone like, okay. And it was done. And he said, legit, and I'm not kidding, he said, so now that I've introduced myself, we're no longer strangers. So tell me about, then I said throwing questions at me. And I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, are we having this conversation? But I kept playing along. And I was actually a question too. I don't know what happened. I was just in a very, very cool
I think it's shock
mode.
It's
shock. Perfect.
You're just shock. Okay.
And when it was done, I was like, okay, now I'm going to throw your questions back at you. right? So I started asking him the questions he was asking me. And one question he asked me when he first started was I married? And I was like, no. So I asked him, and I legit did not hear his response the first 2 times. And the third time he snapped. And I'm like, what's going on?
What do you mean by he snapped?
He was like, I told you that I'm not married. What
did we carry? What did we drop?
Exactly. What did we carry? What did we throw? What really is going on? So I'm like, I did hear you the first 2 times. That one left. So I just said this exact same questions I was asking me, I was throwing it back at him. So, and the guy now further snapped and he was like, that he doesn't even like the way I'm talking to him, that I'm making him walk on eggshells around me, that I'm trying to remember the exact word. Apart from eggshells, he said another word to me. And I was confused.
You said the exact same questions, or did you ask him something?
No. I don't know him. As far as I'm concerned, I didn't know this person to be bothered enough to be answering creative questions other than what he asked me. And I was like, and I told him, I said, it appears that you've been talking to certain kind of babes and you're not used to someone, returning like Dakpada, old Baba Jebu. So exactly. You're not someone returning the energy. So now like you found someone, you did not know how to act on it, and you decided to just become you're shouting. That type of person will beat me. Remember what I was talking about? I'm not joking. See, while laughing. That kind of person will beat me. No, it will. When we start dating, honest. It will beat me too much more. So I just felt like this person was probably used to making people feel small, and it wasn't in any exactly
room. The moment the spotlight is not on him for any reason.
So that's another. No, that was off. I was like, oh, bye, have a nice life. I'm like, okay,
no way,
okay, bro.
Where did he really say, oh, bye, have a nice life?
Yeah, that was the end of our conversation. Till tomorrow, I keep wondering if that conversation, if I can talk to Glow or MTN to help me bring record. I promise you, I think I might pay just to have the recording of that conversation, to replay it, to understand what really happened.
Oh, bye.
Bye, have a nice life.
Bye, have a nice life.
And I'm having a nice life as it appears. So thank you.
Oh, wow.
So this is just, I was just trying to highlight a situation where someone had tried to make me feel, and I wasn't having it. You can't make me feel small. It's even worse off that you do not know me, and on our first conversation, you want to make me feel small. They don't do that where I'm from. I'm sorry, sir. We don't do that here.
She said that where I'm from. Where are you from?
Just here.
Oh, right.
They don't do that.
In your circle.
In my, even my father, the father that bore me,
your father.
They don't do that for me. So who are you?
Look at the hurts.
And I think, so sorry, and I know it is, and I think it boils down to upbringing. So I'm coming from a house where I could talk. Like, I could talk. In fact, people were the ones that had a problem with the way I communicated with my dad. My dad didn't know how we were expressive. We could talk. We could say our mind. So I wasn't afraid to say my mind. Like my father always like, use your mouth anyway. I remember I went to I had an interview at Air Force Secondary School boarding house. And I remember we didn't know that we shouldn't have brought in provisions. So I brought in provisions and they were like, oh, sorry, you can't bring that. And other people were, tiny children. At 9, I was like, why? You have to tell me why I cannot bring these provisions. It was not in you. I didn't even know I was going to be a lawyer then. But that's how I have been. My father was like, hey, Omo, you think by me, you have killed me. I'm like, no, daddy. Why can you imagine? Why would the man... I was like, you cannot, again, that's the part of making me feel small. You cannot. You can't, because you have a position of authority that...
Just say that this is how it has to be.
Like I said, I'm a rational human being. So let me see reason. Help me to understand. It's a different thing if I do not want to understand, but I'm genuinely interested to understanding where you're coming from.
But with people that make you feel small, they hardly ever want to have conversations.
I agree.
What they do is what they do. How they say it is how they say it. And it's reasonable enough to them, whether or not you see it as reasonable or it makes sense to you or it's right. If they say it's right, it's right. I don't know if it's sort of controlling people or, again, like you said, with them, I think it's because they've always met people who are accommodated. I have a guy who literally told me, he said, I cannot be with somebody like you or allow anybody around my life be with somebody like you because you will not allow control. And women need to be controlled.
I'm confused. Are you a remote? Are you the TV?
No, dear. Directly told me. And I told him, I said, oh, and you know what I told him? I said, I appreciate that you recognize that I'm not one of those kind of people. But I feel sorry for those who have allowed you feel like they are those kind of people. If you have women that have permitted themselves to be controlled. Am I a rocko? Am I a goat?
Are you a sheep? No, not sheep.
And I a shepherd or cow? Like, I don't need to be controlled. I need to be spoken to. I need to, I need to have dialogue. Yes, I need to be communicated with and to. But not for you to say do and I just go and do without question. That should even make you afraid as a man.
Mentality.
Do you understand? If you have a person, a woman, anybody around you that doesn't ask questions or can't try to understand, there's a problem. Because how do you know that what you're saying is sinking in? It means that today, if your control stops, somebody else will carry them and control tomorrow.
Exactly.
Do you understand? Like, how does that work? How do you feel happy having such a person? And you're happy that I will have children with you and raise children with you or for you?
Yeah, not raising now. Now him good.
Okay,
Tell you how to raise. But you know, in the spirit of being vulnerable, and it's interesting because this wasn't what we planned to discuss.
When is it ever what we planned to discuss?
No, we
2 out of 10.
We tried to plan, but
Maybe
like again, in the spirit of being vulnerable, right? Because that's what the podcast is about. So I remember that, and I felt led to share this because woman, I'll stop. I felt led to share this because it might be someone like currently going through what I'm going through or what I was going through. So because of this whole idea of feeling small, having a larger than life, for lack of a better word, personality, right? I think late last year. Sorry, I like timestamps a lot. Late last year, I was just thinking about the whole thing and about like relationships it has cost me. And I just started feeling to myself, you know what, maybe Kofoworola, maybe you're a lot. No.
Relationships, it has cost you.
Yeah. No, and I know it's for my good.
No, I mean, what has cost you?
No, just my
you not wanting to be controlled.
Not wanting to be controlled, not wanting to feel small. Me just being my own person.
Okay.
Right? And just being like me, just being me.
The entirety of who
the entirety of who I am. And I was telling myself, Kofoworola, maybe you are a lot, truly, because people say it a lot that I'm a lot. I think that's why I like that a lot. But I've heard people say, Kofo, you're a lot. Like, I can't handle, just like what you said, like, I can't handle, like, you're too much. Do you understand? Okay. So I started thinking to myself that, when A says it, it's like, oh, whatever, it's just some A that said it. B says it, and you're like, okay. Then C, D, E, you're like, okay, all right. Then maybe truly I'm a lot, and I should tone it down. That's what they tell me, tone it down. That's the word.
They really?
Yeah. They'll say, so for you're a lot, tone it down. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe truly I'm a lot, and I should start changing or start being not a lot. And
can we address phrases that shouldn't be used when we're trying to help somebody?
It's not help, because I didn't have a problem. So what are they helping?
No. Let's even say that you had a problem. Is it okay to use the phrase tone it down?
So, well, anyways, I don't. People say whatever they want to say. Right. I don't even care. But like that was the thing. So like a lot of toning down, a lot of and I saw myself again, like I said, being self-aware. And I started speaking to my male friends. And like, okay, what do you genuinely think about me? Do you think I'm a lot? In the way people are saying I'm a lot.
Okay.
And some of them were like, truly, you can be a lot, but it's not a bad, like that's something, someone said that's something I admire about you. Like your old demeanor, right? And that's what many of them said. Like, that's what I admire about you. Like, it's not as if you're a lot, so that you are a nuisance. Exactly. Okay. It's not a problem. So, but in my head, I'm like, if it's not a problem, then why are people repeating it? And it seems like that's I'm unable to. A lot of time, but I say, well, this is one of the reasons why I think I'm still single, anyways. But like, no, but it's true, because some of these people have been the ones to tell me I'm a lot. And even the time when my friends were like, yes, you're a lot, but it's not that bad. I still do not believe them, because I'm like, okay, it's not that bad. So why are you not toasting me? Honestly, that was my reaction.
It makes a lot of
and it feels
it's a
like
ship we're both in.
we that were the lot friends. We are the G's.
we're
the
great
nice
friends,
to
but
have.
we're not great to now date.
We're not great lovers. Or you understand? And I don't know why we're moving to this place.
For this place where they carry me go,
I'm fine. I'm really fine being there. But that's what it is. So I'm like, okay, you're saying that, I'm not a lot. So why is it that I'm just fine? So I'm the G that brings the energy. But I didn't see that coming.
If you want to talk to me directly.
I'm the G that brings the energy, but not the G that is nice to move from, G to girlfriend,
To the other G.
To the other G, you get it. I know we're laughing about it, but this is something I'm speaking from a pain point. So I had to, and back to being self-aware. So I had to go back after going through that phase. I recognized that was an attack on my identity brain, and I quickly recognized that, and I said, you know what, Kofo, this is who you are. No, and because again, it's not a bad thing. It's not like as if I'm no. This is who you are, and in fact, because of this is why you are you. Like, some people might not appreciate it. Some people might not see
it. Essence.
Exactly. But like,
if you took it out, you wouldn't be who you are.
You get it. So when I just sat down, like I write, and I wrote a note to myself, and I'm like, you will find someone that can handle that lot, or that lot to be compliment. Do you understand? It's not be a lot. In fact, it's that lot that you bless.
The attraction.
I like it.
Yeah.
So I had to do like a mind re-engineering that, and when when a lady that is a lot meets a narcissist, oh my God, we brew men like that tell me that they're working on eggshells because I'm just trying to own my person. So, but I'm putting it back to you because I know that you typically shy away from things like this, but I know that you have experience, and I'm very aware that you're also the G girl, right? But my guy. So please,
I remember growing up, my mom used to say something that she used to pray that God would give me female friends. Like it was how you pray, other people pray for their children, may you pass in school. This was like primary school, secondary school. Secondary school majorly. It's male friends. I go just pack them like snack ding.
Not sardine, is that? No. But this day is not even sardine because how many days inside?
It's sad that I used to be inside But yeah, like I would just have a lot. Even right now, I have female friends of mine that are like, okay, Boma, all these boys in your life, all these girls in your life, is there no one that wants to marry you? Is there no one that wants to ta? And I'm like, I can appreciate the fact that maybe I'm not the kind of person that they can be with, but they want to have as friends. Maybe because I'm a voice of reason, or because I'm a beacon of hope, or because I'm the one that helps them. It could be different things, and it's been a journey to get here. And like you said, you have those moments where there's an attack on your identity because you are like the world always finds a title for something when we're trying to name it. In this age and time, we call it the alpha female, alpha male.
I don't recognize myself as any of those things.
It's okay. I'm saying it's a box, right? We always try to find boxes it's the reason why we come up with Sagittarius, Sanguine, and all of these things. We always try to box certain character traits or whatever. But this is what I know of myself. My personality will always shine in any room, whether or not I want it. Because guess what? I've actually consciously tried to hide my personality, to close myself, to not speak in a room, to be quiet, to come late, sit at the back, sit in a corner, and I still get noticed for the most mundane and ordinary things, right? So who I am, I've come to an acceptance of it that it would shine in any room. Who I am is I have such a childlike heart, and I would play and I would do silly, goofy things out there. And if that's embarrassing for you, you're not the person for me. Because I've seen people who are worse than me as adults, and they have men that thing is like, my goodness, how are you like this? It's fantasy for the men that they're with, which means they're people who were created just as I was created this way, to be able to accept who I am. So as much as the world would tell you, now there's a balance to it, agreed. There are rooms where certain aspects of myself don't come out because there's no need for it. I'm not just going to say, this is who I am, and you're just scattered and you're everywhere. No, there's certain rooms and certain crowds that would require me to put myself inwardly, not shut myself down. They're two different things. That's why I say tone down. No, I don't need to tone myself down. I simply need to keep myself enclosed because that room isn't big enough to handle how big I am. So I would put leaflets of myself out there. bits and pieces of myself out there. Maybe what is required of me in this place is just a friendly hello, hi, Boma. Oh, hello, hi, and I'm quiet. There are rooms where I need to be in the right side of me that is everywhere and shouting and lively and bubbly. I will bring that, self out. So I've now come to a place where the different aspects of me I've gotten to know, right? And I'm comfortable with it. I've had somebody tell me that the spiritual aspect of my life was too much, and it's just it's just everywhere, and that there's no man, literally words from, so he said there's no man that will be able to take it like this, so you have to be able to keep it. It's not only you that, the way you are worshiping, you just be everywhere, and then it affected the way that I sing, because I felt like I had to be all these people that, sing like Adele, very soulful, but there are people like Beyonce who have very heavy voices and they thrive. There's room for Adele, and there's room for Beyonce, there's room for Mariah Carey, and there's room for Nicki Minaj or whoever. There's room for somebody like there's room for somebody like Sinach, but there's also room for somebody like Victoria Reze, and it's totally okay for both of them to thrive. So you can't tell me that there's no room for me simply because of who I am. So I've come to that place, and I love that you said this is like setting somebody free, because I feel like there are people with diverse giftings and diverse characters, and the problem is when people don't understand or know something, we term it bad, because it doesn't fit into a spectrum or a kind of people. Then it's not okay. For example, there are people who enter a room and they're just hello, hi. Say, she has busybody. That girl is too restless. No, that's her personality. She likes to spread joy. She likes to make sure everybody's comfortable. You don't get to shut somebody down because you don't understand it. Because when you get to a place, the popular opinion is when you get to a place, be quiet first. Look at your environment. If I don't want to be that person, it shouldn't be a problem, or it's not bad in terms of, in terms of the word, what bad means, that it's a negative thing. It might not necessarily be something that you're used to, but at least be open to it and see, first of all, if, Ital is wrong for you, So this particular thing about just when you said making you little, it's a case of trying to crumble you to fit into a box. I feel like it's something we struggle with as a society and as a people. Constantly, it's okay for me to be outside the box. I can still thrive. Always trying to fit somebody into a title, into a box, into a spectrum, into something is always the issue. And it also comes from an expectation of what men have been told that women they will be with should be.
That's what I thought for that person.
Because yes, why would you say that
to me? So again, I really do not know why. But you guys are amazing, right? And because it's about me. So I've gone to find the notes. I wrote it January 2021.
Oh, so cute. Can I read it?
I'm going to read it out. But you want to read it first?
I want to read it out for you. I want to read it.
I think you should, because I don't know if I'd have been able to.
Yeah. Here we go. So this is Kofo's note to herself, right? Today, I thought to myself, Kofoworola, you're a handful, and that can be super cute or super annoying, depending on whether or not the other party matches your energy. Interestingly, you've been surrounded by the no match, quote and unquote, for so long, and you've legit shrunk yourself. You constantly ask, am I doing too much? Am I talking too much? Am I caring too much? Now you tell yourself, maybe I should care, but not too much. Maybe I should reach out, but count the days in between so I don't feel forceful. Maybe I should send this opportunity I found, but won't I be flooding the DM? Oh, wow. You really want to wear your heart on your sleeve. Go all out, even if it's not reciprocated. You want to love because your heart is large, and you want to keep being you despite. Listen, girl, the world is unkind with a sprinkle of kind people here and there, that their presence upsets the balance. You're one of the very few kind people, and even if you never find someone that matches your energy, you are more than enough. Oh.
Thank you for reading that. If I had read it, I'll probably start crying. But hey, God, it's only on this podcast. I think we should just revert to audio call.
So I also have some.
Why am I theater? Let me read it for you too.
No, dear.
Hope you'll be able to control your emotions.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Sally, are you crying?
No.
No way, you just asked that question. He went like, what?
That's me. I'm like, oh, you
Are you teary-eyed? Oh,
He didn't answer.
he didn't answer, which means he most likely was or is one of both. Okay, so yada 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 yada. I don't know why I just said that, but so this is something I wrote way back when, and I'm not a writer. I'm a words person, but sometimes
Wordsmith.
yeah. And I don't write because sometimes it's too hard for me to go back and read, but every now and then I try to go back. Okay. So I said this to myself, Boma, you are equipped and greatly helped by God. Just keep abiding in him and he will abide in you. He's reshaping you, reworking you, and recalibrating everything that you are day in, day out. I know that most of the time it seems like you're stretched on all sides because there's so much to you and so much talent, so much gift. Sometimes you're so confused, you don't know what to do with it. But be of good cheer, for God has overcome the world for your sake. God is giving you people who uphold you just as you are somebody who upholds others in growth seasons, down season, and great seasons. I know that you feel like you are always the one there for everybody, but it is because of this. Now, that's the exact reason that you were made. So don't feel like people's energy have to match up with your own. Neither should you forget. Oh no, do not forget that for every beauty there are ashes, but God gives beauty for ashes. He gives you the oil of gladness for mourning to spread to the torn and the aching. There's a reason that you're called the voice of joy. Literally, you spread joy. So rest in that assurance that what seems like the abnormal is simply the extraordinary. And you are the extra in every ordinary.
Oh, shit. The extra in every ordinary.
Yes, dear. Do not toil for nothing. Rest in your identity. Love yourself always. Rest in your assignment because God is your help. He's helping you and you will not be overwhelmed. Now, every now and then you will forget your identity because the world will sell you something else. But remember these words clearly. You, my darling Boma, are everything and more that the world needs. And if you are in this season and time, God was intentional of putting you here like a soldier that will be sent on assignment to different aspects for different things. So, to take a step fully, you can't afford unnecessary relationships. You need to start shedding weight, start clearing the spaces in your life so that you can access the giftings on the inside of you and it will not be shut down. Because if you're not careful, what the world does not understand, they'll kick against. What the world does not understand is you, Boma. So they might kick against you. But if you are aware that you are joy and it is beautiful, you can rest in that assurance.
And that's really all the assurance that you need.
Yeah.
And just something to take home.
Yeah.
Really today is...
This has been such a...
I know.
episode.
I mean, we didn't even think of
this. Is so exciting.
Yeah. And I was just going to say something, right? Well, personally, yes, I authored the book Love Notes, but I write love notes to myself, or I write notes.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I write
How
notes.
Occasionally?
Not a lot, but like on days like this, when I'm feeling down, when I'm in just that mood, I just pick up my notes and it's good because I go back to it, read it, and that. And the thing is, these things are important so that you remember.
Oh, yes.
They're important so that you remember. They're important so that, because people just believe that, you are just this kind of person, you don't have worries, you don't have anything you're saying, everything is smooth sailing. So when you go back to your notes and you're like, you know what? Because I'm sure some people will be listening to this podcast and like,
I want to put this out there. If you have strong friends, if you have those friends who are constantly always there, they're the ones going through the most. They just don't feel like they can put it on you because they know about your a lot and they're helping you sort through it, right? So be kinder to them. Be nicer to them with your expectations. Give grace. Like Kofo would always say, give grace to them. Because I'm telling you, it's the strong ones that always have the most that they're carrying on the back of their shoulders. Because they have to carry theirs every single day with a whole lot of others, and they have to carry it with grace. So when they break down or they don't, they fall short, they don't, meet your expectation like you expect them to, give grace, because you have no idea how they're fighting so hard to level up. Do you understand?
I agree.
So please, like, that's something I just feel like I should put out there. As much as we're speaking to the strong ones, we should also speak to those ones around them that seem like my own is just one. Like a friend of mine said, but she was like, we're 3 friends, but our friendship reminds me of the parable of the talents. She said, me, I'm like the one with 1. You are like the one with 5. This our second person is like the one with 3. And we're making a joke that, are you going to hide your own? She said, no, I'm going to use my 1 too, so that I can be 2. But I know she'll say I won't be past 1. I should always say that your cost had that the one with 5 definitely has way more work to do than the one with 1 or the one with 3. And you're expected to use every single virtue on the inside of you. So it can be psychologically and mentally exerting and even, stressful to just think of, you're writing, you're doing business, you're doing law, you're doing and there's so many other expressions to you, that you still want to.
I'm not even unlocked it. I don't even know I have.
No, thank you very much. And you're on a journey to finding it and knowing it every day. And that can be a whole lot on you as a person. And in the middle of that, you have to deal with people who feel like you're too big. You need to crumble yourself.
You're just thinking like, I don't need that kind of energy.
I don't.
So just to close, because
guys, have you noticed that Kofo is the closer? I should give you closer.
That's what I do, close deals. But that's what I do. My 9 to 5, I close deals. Anyway,
show off there.
But we are going to have. We definitely need to have a Boma sided episode. When we say we definitely need to, all this time we say definitely we need to, never have it
actually.
So, but this one we should. Don't have to say definitely.
I think you should pray about it. It will come up random. Because if we plan,
but like I just want to say the last thing, because we've gone through different things, just in me expressing different things. One thing that
oh my God, we started from disrespect and driving.
To where we are.
Wow.
So where I am at on my headspace this year is, again, I think I'm a very introspective person.
I need to ask a question before we go though, but where you are now in terms of your identity and just fully knowing who you are, would you say that there are things, and I'm saying this because we always say when we have done bad and done good, would you say that there are aspects to yourself that you believe you can keep to yourself sometimes, or like what's the balance, what's the fine line? Because if a lot of people are saying it, there is something to look into, but to what degree or to what extent, and what's the result of that?
So actually, there was a time I was like, okay, I'm a lot, so I might as well just go back to my shell, not do anything, just be in my space.
Okay.
But again, you realize that you are creating a persona that is not you. And and the thing about the reason why I laugh about a lot is because I look at myself and I don't think I'm actually very, in quotes, I use it very loosely, and you may not agree, but I think I'm quite reserved, and I need people bring out aspects of me. In fact, one of my colleagues, I've been in my office for over how many months, and for the first time, she's like, oh my God, I didn't know you were actually funny. Because we're just together in a space. Yeah. And she might never have known this if we were never in that space.
Okay.
Do you understand? So a lot of times I think I'm actually I err on the side of being reserved, of just being there, and things happen. So for instance, let's say we're in a restaurant or we're somewhere, we're in a setting, and I feel like we are being cheated. So the way other people be like, just overlook it. I can't take it. So that's where my a lot comes from.
Right.
I can't take it. Like, I don't,
I guess the a lot is the you saying and always having to say. Like, you won't let it pass by.
You understand? But nowadays, I would have started like, oh God, I don't have energy. I'm not typing it. But that's not what I wanted to say. I was going to say that in part of introspection this year, I got to the point where I said to myself genuinely, I'm like, you know what, Kofoworola, you're not such a good person, right? And now, I was talking to myself, like, I used to pride myself in being like, I'm a good person, I'm a good friend. I'm like, no, you're not a good person. Because I was seeing aspects of myself. I'm like, wow, so you're like this? Or maybe feedback from colleagues at work. And I'm like, I didn't know. But it just became glaring, right? And some things happened. So maybe it was there and to suppress. Then something happened, like, it just came out.
Right.
I'm like, you're not a good person. 1. 2. So 2 things I've learned this year. The first one is that I'm not a good person. So I have to recognize that I'm not good, but I have to work at.
I don't think good is the right word, but okay.
Well, I have to work at. So I think I think I'm a very kind person. Okay, no, not good. I'm not a nice person.
Okay.
That's the word. I'm not a nice person. And I say it unapologetically. I don't care to be nice. I don't care to be nice. My goal is to be kind, and I'm fine being kind. In fact, I realized this year that being nice has a negative connotation, actually. That it does. I can't remember what the story behind being nice was, but it had like a negative connotation. And when most people term pushovers as nice, that person is nice because I'm not speaking up. It's nice. You let things go. That person is nice. Nah,
right.
I'm not interested in being nice. I don't care about being nice.
But
am I kind? Am I caring? Yes. Am I kind? Yes.
Are you good? Yes.
So am I good? Yes. But I'm not nice. And if you think I am, all well and good, but I don't care enough. That was the first one. The second one is, and I was fine. So the first one is I'm not nice. And the second thing was I was fine. Like I am fine knowing that I'm not nice. And I have grown from, so I used to be a people pleaser growing up. So seeing that transition. So before, when I realized that I'm not nice, I would have had a problem with that realization.
Like you have to start doing something
to make me nice. So I'm like, yo, I'm fine. I'm not nice. And I do not care. I'm sorry. Unapologetically, I do not care to be nice.
Right.
Am I kind? Yes. Will I do
and this
something?
Is that you've checked.
Yes. Will I do something that will hurt your feelings? Yes. And you tell me, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm sorry. I'll apologize. But do you think but being nice in quotes, the way the world terms nice, such that I become a pushover? I'm not interested. I've left that school of thought for you. I've graduated from that school. So I'm sorry if that's the kind of if that's the me that you know. Well, sorry. Or the Yoruba say okpotisun. What's that Yoruba like? Levels have changed. Levels have changed, right? So, I think ultimately the overarching thing I'm trying to drive home is we need to thyself be true. And you need to always do self-reflections. Where am I today? The version of yourself in 2022 is really different from the version of yourself in 2021, and is really different from the version of yourself in 2023. Life happens, things shake us, things pull out things from us. So every year, I think everyone should have a quarterly, if quarterly is a lot, maybe a yearly
that's
check.
Just 3 months.
No, you might think that, I've not really changed the hair. Okay. So maybe a yearly check. Who am I? What's my temperament? What's my emotions? Are you finding yourself getting angrier and angrier by the day? Why? What's triggering me? What's that factor? What's that thing in the air? You need to, because and these are the things that make you become self-aware, so that the world doesn't toss you left and right and center. So you don't become a people pleaser. You don't want to change because of certain things. And one thing I learned is also about being firm. So they said be kind, but be firm. People don't like the firm part of kindness. That's what people want you to be nice.
Kind,
people want you to be kind and nice instead of kind and firm. And that's where you that's where you come in. Yeah. You have to be firm.
Oh, I will be.
Do you understand? Yeah. So that's just about it. I'm really glad to honestly, I have no regrets about this conversation we had, about this topic that we have. And that does not mean she treats me any differently. Please, when she sent me, I said, okay, you're not a lot. Please. Thank you. I know it's from a good place.
You're a lot. With my full chest. And it's beautiful. I know people would be trying to die.
Don't send me a message, but Kofo, I like your pants. I like to tell it to you. Yeah, I know, but you don't have to say it. Don't do it. If your hand is scratching you, just caution yourself. Don't do it.
Drop your phone.
Don't do it. Thank you. I know you love me, and don't do it. Thank you.
You're actually not nice, dear.
I'm not. I'm really not. And like I said, I'm really fine. And sometimes that has also made me, get the title of Margaret Thatcher. Even Stanley to know.
But you're a disciplinarian, and that's also okay.
I know, so
because you love structure, you love order, and that's also beautiful. Yeah. It comes in handy. I mean, look at this relationship balance, baby. Look at that.
So
it's not that I don't like structure. Do you understand?
Who is sponsoring our episode today?
You're asking me.
Who now?
You're asking me.
Please help us.
Yeah.
We've done a lot about me, so I'm just trying to deflect. Like, just handle it, please. Handle it.
I will. Anyways, sponsor, don't be angry. This is not how we are normally. We appreciate you so much. We so much love you. When you finish English, that I want you to appreciate you. Next week, I will add the English to it. Anywho's.
Yeah, there's anyways.
I say anyways, so anywho's.
That's fine.
Anyhows.
That's fine.
Anywheres.
That's fine.
Any days.
Our sponsor.
Which one do you want of the any's? Choose an any. I have to use an any.
Anyways.
Anyhows is fine. You sure? You're not going to complain? Anyway.
Yeah, a lot.
Amy got me lots, dear, with my food chest. Gidigba. That's him. That's it. Why do I say that's him? So sorry. It's part of being a lot. I'm a loth, actually, not lots.
A lot.
I'm a loth. A loth. So, our sponsor for this episode is the Flames Collection.
Oh.
Yes, by Nikki Flames Collection. Now, what she does is she customizes T-shirts, joggers, mugs. If you want to do frames, beautiful stuff, really, right? They always do. And I mean, I got this really beautiful frame. I saw her do for this really large frame for somebody, and it was so beautiful. Something homely that you can just hang in your house, right? So if you want to do anything along those lines, please, Flames Collection on Instagram.
Flames
of course,
Collection.
Don't worry, Flames Collection. Yeah, don't worry. Of course, we're going to put the, details and all of that in the caption, description.
Short notes, something. They
Whichever
tell
one.
us correct English, can't remember.
Yes, they
But you know the
did.
thing is, I really think
Do
that.
you want to correct us again? Producer, do you want to correct us again? The one that we say caption and description, so it's not it.
Episode notes.
Episode
The
notes.
listeners that they don't even know what episode notes is.
Episode notes. Please, they were upgrading the podcast. Shit that now.
Episode note.
That's it.
But you're not going to say something about personally.
I was also going to say something, but say your something first. I mean, when we're close podcast.
No, you will. That's fine.
That's all right.
So I got to talk about the sponsor. Like personally, I think customized gifts are really, really thoughtful. Not picture. Don't put picture. You
can put notes.
Dead it. Don't put picture. But customize with
Some
my
people
phone.
love pictures, Kofo.
I'm just trying to say, in case you want to get me something, I'm just
my
saying.
goodness.
But like, when I say like a jotter and I just see my name, it's just like mine. It's mine. It has that.
It's very
feel,
personal. Yeah.
I get my nails done, but continue.
How did that enter?
I'll still mine.
And I'm the a-lot. We're both lots, dear. All right, we've come to the end of today's episode, and my take home from this is really to thine own self be true. I love that line that, Kofo threw out there. There's room for all of us to thrive. And there's room for balance, which is why I am who I am, because there's somebody who would help me balance it down, and all of that. And there's somebody who also needs me to pull them out of that space where they're just inward and into themselves. If not, I know people who introverts, they drag their head for ground, or using their head anyhow. Like you said, just because they want you to be nice, push over, use you anyhow. And that's not even a great place to be. And I also know people who the characters are so big that they unknowingly put down other people or don't give room because they're constantly the ones shining and they want their voices to be the loudest in any given
It reminds me about those choir, like when when soprano is going all loud and alto is like, kind of. It's always
What
that one
is wrong
person.
with you?
It's always that one person.
I'm actually that one person. So I'm always telling them, please put my mic on 3 if everybody's on is 5. Literally, because my natural voice is loud. I can't help it. But at least I can help the mic. So yes, always find a way to balance things out.
Thank you for riding with us again today.
As I said, thank you. I just read that. Thank you for fighting my battles.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of Flow with KB. You should definitely catch up on all our previous episodes on Jamit, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow us on all our social media platforms. Instagram, it's Flow with KNB, and on Twitter, it's Flow with KB. If you enjoyed this episode, please share with friends and family.